2022. And hey, let's do this real quickly. Rotus is in with us. Good morning, Rotus.
Hey, good morning, Victor, Shokwe, Fisayo, Lagos. Hope everybody's good.
We're good. Fisayo, Durojaiye, wearing the black, perhaps mourning the queen. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Shopware. Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, Lakers.
Good morning. Just so everybody is on the same page, VictaPepple is really mourning the death of the Queen of England. We all, yes, it's very sad news, but he's really feeling this. Yes. So,
particularly
color the rest of the show. Expect for the news to be brought up at random intervals. Okay.
Well, there's several ways to reach us live in the studio today. WhatsApp is one of them, 0809-444-0981. Twitter is smooth981fm. And we're streaming live on YouTube at the moment, youtube.com/smooth981fm Lagos.
And you can leave your messages and your comments up on that live stream as well. Okay, so let's get started. The question of the day being, can we all afford to be tech savvy at this point? Can we all afford the latest iteration of the phones that we're seeing advertised left, right, and center with the Naira the way it is?
Yeah, so it's interesting that Apple didn't change prices from the 13 to the 14. They didn't change them in the US anyway. The prices remain the same. So I think the baseline iPhone 14 is $799. Then the iPhone 14 Plus is $899. Then I think the Pro is $999, almost $1,000. And then the Pro Max or Pro Plus is the top line level, $1,099. So the price hasn't changed. But there was an article in, I think it was Reuters or Bloomberg, that was saying pretty much every other continents where they'll be buying the phone, they're all going to be paying higher prices simply because the dollar has been surging as a result of rate hikes from the Fed. If interest rates are rising, it's going to attract capital to the United States. And if they're attracting capital because of higher interest rates, then that increases demand for the dollar. And increasing demand for the dollar will push it up. The yen, I think, is at a 2080 or 24, 25-year low, at 141 or 142 now. So that was just looking at Asia. So I was like, oh, wow. So what about us here in Nigeria, where the Naira has again blown past 700? So I think if you know, I've been an Android person pretty much all my life. I've never considered, although I've had other Apple products, the pods and my podcast is Google, but stream music services and so on. So I've actually considered getting it because I've never had one before. But for anyone who if you've had the 13, I think the only changes that they've made were to the camera, and I think the phones are bigger now. It's a 6.7 inch. So I don't know, Fisayo, what do you make of anyone who's considering picking up an iPhone 14?
I just wanted to correct some impression about what you made about saying because the dollar has been surging. No, it's because the other currencies have been weakening. Not quite that the dollar has been surging.
Well, the dollar index is at a high now. The dollar is getting stronger now.
Well, not quite stronger. The currencies are weakening against the dollar. So again, it's like, anyways, but that's economics story, right?
Yeah.
But the point the point still remains the same, that if you're buying the phone in Nigeria, for instance, you have to pay significantly more than you paid, even though the price never really changed. And that's because the exchange rate when the iPhone 13 was released and the exchange rate today is particularly different, right? So if you're buying in Naira, you're going to pay a lot more Naira for the same phone, even though the dollar price never really changed. And that's where the problem really is, right? Same thing in China, where the yuan is weakened against the dollar, same as Japan, when the yen is weakened against the dollar as well, right? I mean, I didn't on the article I didn't see much about the pounds. I was hoping that because maybe because they're in the morning state as well, maybe iPhone might just want to give them a discount because Queen Elizabeth discount or something, so they can afford to buy, and then buy this one, because again, I think Apple does this, this trick that prices, the same in dollars and of course in pounds. So if you're buying a phone at £1,000, you buy the same phone at $1,000, even though yes, the pounds a lot of times is stronger than the dollar, so it should be lower in pounds. But of course, Apple just prices at the same So maybe now that the country is mourning, maybe Apple can do something different. But that's the only is the only consolation in there. But outside of that, there is really nothing particularly. And of course, over my life, I've been an Android person because I don't think that I want to be. I want to be caught in an ecosystem that I'm not sure I want to be fully part of because of other things I do outside of the Apple ecosystem, for instance. So, for instance, I've told people that because I work on Excel a lot, right? It doesn't make sense for me to use a MacBook, for instance. That's on the personal computer space, because I'm not sure how the experience of using Excel and Microsoft Word or Microsoft type thing, especially Excel, will work with the experience of a Windows computer versus a MacBook. Right, putting that together, and of course, because I also use a lot of Google things, between the Gmail and so Android is a lot more suited for a lot more things within the thing. Google Sheet. Just I want to be a bit more open to be able to use services from other providers, right? Not forced into using some cloud service that I'm not necessarily particularly interested in, because of course it blocks me out of a few other people. So again, those are some of the concerns that I've had. But let's see, maybe Jiri is out. Maybe I'll buy the iPhone 14 Pro Max. maybe not, right? But we'll figure it out as we go.
Your point on that is the exact reason why I had to replace my laptop recently, and I just went with the same Dell XPS family that I've used for so many years, and I didn't, because, and again, the dollar was again a big issue there, because the price, my last laptop was less than half the cost of what I paid now for the same series, although different newer generation. But I was offered a MacBook, and I was like, it was Excel. I mean, maybe for finance people, I guess it's a different issue for other people. But particularly for finance people that use Microsoft Excel a lot, that transition to, although you can use Excel on Mac, you can use Excel on Mac.
But
yeah,
but I've learned so many shortcuts. I've learned so many things that
exactly.
I mean, I don't want to relearn.
Right.
So let me tell you something. As someone who was a Mac user for 3 of their lifetimes, and I'm now Chromebook.
Oh, you switched?
Simple. I had to switch. First of all, they're very, very droppable. That much I know. And by the time you've paid some money and then you realize that, okay, one drop is gonna do that, to take them out. You're like, okay, let me look for something a bit more.
Decided to switch.
Yeah. So I switched.
Well,
and since then, have not dropped anything. And also,
we've
can use
this every time Apple releases a new product. Anytime we talk about Android, iOS, Samsung, and all these other things, this reminds, it's again a reminder of Nigeria's need. I don't know if we'll ever get there, Fisayo, where we can export an item that will be discussed all over the world. Because all of us now are just shipping money to Apple now. Everybody that's buying this phone are shipping dollars to the US. Well, if you buy a Samsung, you're shipping money to Korea. When do we, I don't know what point, maybe after, manufacture our own item that can bring in FX. This is it.
I mean, Rotus, the way I think about it, right, it's simple. We don't have to be the designer. So, for instance, if you check an Apple product said designed in California, manufactured in China, right? So you can just be a manufacturing hub. But for that to happen, there are so many things that from a government thing that you can't necessarily control. Power, education, right? Where it's not university education, but just being technical skills. Because right now, people are even complaining about tilers in Nigeria that you can't get tiles, right? You have to import tilers from neighboring countries, right? So if some of those, core skills, are important. I was looking at Primark, right? Because I was like, okay, why is Primark? How is Primark? I was doing the research during the week. Why is Primark cheap? But the products are also relatively good, right? And I found out that yes, they have hundreds of suppliers from Bangladesh, from Vietnam, from
who
China.
is Primark? Real estate or who is that?
No, Primark is some
Fashion.
UK
Okay.
retail things, right?
Okay.
They sell clothes,
All right.
children, all of that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
they have manufacturers from Southeast Asia, from China, right? Hundreds of those, and then this Primark has things around hundreds of stores, outlets across Europe. So that is where Nigeria should build to become that manufacturing hub, rather than go to Vietnam, for instance. You can come to Nigeria to do these things, right? But of course, we're not ready for that, and nobody's having that conversation. So I guess that's the first step. Then we can also, okay, from there, we've learned how to assemble an Apple product. Then you can then now build competencies from that. So, okay, if I can assemble Apple, well, maybe I can do a made in Nigeria version, right? Because we have the technical skills.
China
exactly
copies
like
everything.
China. So that's why it does. So they copy everything. Exactly. So they copy everything. They manufacture for you. They copy you, and then they do their own. Of course, they will. There's a learning. I remember techno phones at the beginning. They were substandard phones. They were terrible phones, but somehow they seem to have improved that. Up until today, that people can afford. If you can't afford to buy a Samsung phone, a techno phone is not a bad phone today, right? And that's how these things, that's how the competency moves. That you can be able to start producing, but you can't just jump from zero to start manufacturing your phones today when you're not even assembling for other people. And I think that's where the real challenges are.
Great point. Great point. Okay, just look at that. We're almost out of time, and I don't have things to talk about. Real quick, I think is Uber is partnering with, is it Nomura, one company to do automated delivery of food. It just seems so far out there. What do you make of that? Sorry.
Good luck with that.
It's a robot to deliver your food.
It's a first world problem, right? And I know that, yes, Uber's focus is that at some point not to be able to eliminate drivers, because that's where the economics is going to get, very particularly interesting, right? When they're not sharing money with the drivers, when everything is self-driving, right? So it means that all the revenues are coming to them 100%. So that's where the vision of it. And I think that they've said something about 2030 where they're building towards that, right? So you want to start with, this delivery thing where you don't have to pay, your driver some rider to bring your food. Just get some self-driving vehicle, right, to bring the food for you and just take the food and you move on, right? So that is a good thing, but hey, in some hoods, right, where a self-driving vehicle is moving your food and someone steals the food from a self-driving vehicle, who would you report it to, right? Again, just different things that you have to consider, right? So, but yeah, but I'm sure there's other things around safety, around security in there, all of that. So
don't worry, Fisayo, that's not a problem.
Insurance, you have to get the food insured. Something that doesn't work.
It'll be fine, But yeah, it's good. It's a good idea, right? But good luck to them. They're starting in Houston, by the way, which we'll see how that goes, right? So good luck to them, I guess.
All right, that's about it. Thank you very much for being a part of the show today. We have to go. We'll do this again on Monday at 6:30. We always love to, bring you Business Express, talk about the major stories in the world of business. But for Tech Friday edition, usually we, talk about all the big stories in tech.
Well, let's just take a look at some of the messages to end the show because they've been coming in. There's no name to this. Oh, Kunle says the dynamic island word name and always on display are enough reasons for me to upgrade to a 14 Pro, and I'm definitely getting the H2 AirPods Pro. Whilst Joel says, Rotus is asking about Primark. You just told us you don't buy cheap clothes. Well done, says Joel. Whilst Ogene Ochuko says, for that amount, I would rather get a laptop. And he also says, God save King Charles, my dearly beloved namesake. And it's that sort of education we get in Nigeria. This phone making is assignment for students in China.
And it's a wrap. Let's do this again on Monday. Thank you very much, Fisayo, Durojaiye, and Rotus, Oddiri. Let's keep the conversation going on Twitter. Tag Rotus into it. It's at Rotan Quotes and at Smooth 91 FM.
And you can also tag Fisayo at Aramore Fisayo, right?
Fisayo, yes.
That's right. Monday, 6:30. We